Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurhanis and I'm going to give an introduction about salicylic acid. Scientifically known as 2-hydroxybenzoic acid, C7H6O3, is a highly regarded compound in the realm of skincare for its multifaceted benefits. It is a beta-hydroxy acid, BHA, that is able to enter deep pores because it is soluble in oil, setting it apart from alpha-hydroxy acids, AHA. Because of this property, salicylic acid is especially good at exfoliating the skin by dissolving and releasing the bones that hold dead skin cells together. It aids in preventing the accumulation of debris that can cause acne, blackheads, and whiteheads by encouraging cellular turnover. The benefits of salicylic acid go beyond treating acne. It is also prized for its capacity to enhance the general tone and texture of the skin, resulting in a more even and smoother complexion. Salicylic acid, which can be found in cleansers, toners, serums, and also spot treatments, is still a mainstay of skincare regimens all over the world because it provides targeted solutions for skin that looks clearer and also healthier. A solid's concentration in the solution can be found using the titration method in the lab. The common method of titrating salicylic acid, 2-hydroxybenzoic acid C7H6O3, a weak organic acid, is to use a strong base such as sodium hydroxide. The first step in the procedure is to prepare a known volume of salicylic acid solution in a flask and add an appropriate indicator, phenolphthalein for example, which changes color at the titration pH endpoint. The titrate, sodium hydroxide, is steadily added to the salicylic acid solution with constant stirring using a burette. The endpoint is reached when the indicator changes color, indicating that the amount of base added is stoichiometrically equivalent to the amount of acid added. Salicylic acid and sodium hydroxide react to neutralize the acid. It is possible to determine the salicylic acid concentration in the solution with accuracy by measuring the volume of sodium hydroxide used.
My name is Nurin and I will explain to you about theory of titration in application for skincare that contains salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is one of the popular ingredients for skincare products, in which often the concentration determination uses methods of titration. Here are major points on the theory behind and the application of titration in skincare products with salicylic acid. Although salicylic acid is a weak acid, it has high biomedical relevance as it is applied in skincare products for its keratolytic, comedolatic, and anti-inflammatory effects. The concentration of salicylic acid in such formulation is one of the vital parameters that talk to be precisely determined. One of the most common analytical techniques applied to determine the content of salicylic acid in skincare formulation is titration. First, the salicylic acid needs to be extracted from the sample using an organic solvent. Open bag extraction into alkaline medium. It can be afterwards titrated against a standard base solution. This enabled bypassing matrix effects from other formulation ingredients. The endpoint is usually determined by a pH meter or through the color change of a pH indicator like phenolphthalein. The concentration of salicylic acid could be computed from data obtained during the titration. Though relatively simple and less expensive compared with some other analytical techniques like HPLC, the titrimetric method may still turn in fine results for the determination of salicylic acid in cosmetic products. There exist, however, some compounds that interfere with the oxidation of salicylic acid in the method. Overall, titration retains its potential for quality control and formulation development of skincare products containing salicylic acid, allowing for the correct quantification of the concentration of the active ingredient.
Hi, I'm Islin. Creating a skincare product that contains salicylic acid involves several steps, from formulation to manufacturing. Here's a general methodology for making such a product. First, research and planning. Understand regulation, check regulatory guidelines for salicylic acid concentration limit. For example, the FDA typically allows up to 2% salicylic acid in the over-counter products. Second, formulation development ingredient selection. Active ingredients, base ingredients, additional ingredients, and formulation process. Active ingredients like salicylic acid. Base ingredients, these can include water and carriers such as alcohol or glycol. Additional ingredients, soothing agent and moisturizing agent. Third, testing and stability. pH testing adjusts the pH of the formulation to ensure it's within the desired range, typically 3.5 to 4.5 for salicylic acid product. Stability testing. Conduct tests to ensure the products remain stable under various conditions. Microbial tests. Ensure the product is free from harmful microorganisms. Fourth, packaging and labeling. Choose appropriate packaging. Select the packaging that protects the product from contamination. Also, labeling requirements include information such as percentage of salicylic acid, usage instruction, warning, and ingredient lists. Next, manufacturing process. Scale up. Adapt the formulation for large-scale production. Quality control. Implement quality control measured at each step of the manufacturing process to ensure the safety. Batch testing. Perform final testing on each batch to ensure it meets quality standard. Last but not least, regulatory compliance and launch. Titration is generally not a standard part of process for formulating skincare products like those containing salicylic acid. However, pH adjustment and verification are crucial, and sometimes titration techniques might be used during pH adjustment to ensure accuracy. Here's how titration might fit into the process. First, prepare the formulation. After mixing all the ingredients and cooling the formulation to room temperature, measure the initial pH of the product. Second, pH adjustment solution. Prepare pH adjustment solution. This could be dilute solution of strong acid and strong base. Third, titration process. Add adjustment solution. Slowly add the pH adjustment solution to the formulation while stirring continuously. Measure pH. Frequently measure the pH of the mixture using a calibrated pH meter, and then we need to repeat. And final verification. After reaching the target pH, perform a final pH measurement to ensure stability.
Okay, I'm Nosha Mimi, so I will continue for the example of the result, which is our objective is to determine the concentration of salicylic acid in a skincare product using acid-based titration. So this is the material that we use, which is we use skincare product containing salicylic acid, assume as a 2% by mass, and we use distilled water, NaOH solution, phenolphthalein as the indicator, burette, pipette, volumetric flask, beaker, and analytical balance. Okay, we move to the procedure, which is we have a 4-step. For the step 1 is sample preparation, which is we need to weigh 5.0 gram of the skincare product and dissolve it in a known volume of distilled water. Step 2, for the titration setup, we need to fill the burette with the standardized NaOH solution, and then we pipette a measured volume of the prepared sample solution into a volumetric flask. And lastly, we add a few drops of phenolphthalein indicator to the sample solution. We move to the step 3, which is perform titration. Slowly add the NaOH solution from the burette to the sample solution while continuously swirling the flask. And then we need to continue adding the NaOH until a persistent color change from colorless to pink to observe the indicating the endpoint of the titration. Last but not least, step 4, we need to record the data, note the initial and final burette readings to determine the volume of NaOH used. After we record the data, we need to do the calculation to determine is it true the skincare product contains 2% of salicylic acid by mass. As you guys can see, I already put the data collected from the previous experiment, and for the calculation there's a 4 step, but in this slide I only put 2 calculation, which is the two step, which is the first one is to determine the moles of NaOH used, and step 2 determine the moles of salicylic acid. You guys can stop the video for a while to take a look at how I find the moles of NaOH and also the moles of salicylic acid. Okay, we move to the step 3 and step 4, which is step 3, determine the concentration of salicylic acid, and lastly, step 4, determine the mass percentage of salicylic acid. For this experiment, I got the mass percentage of salicylic acid in the skincare that we use is 2.21%, which is the calculated mass percentage of salicylic acid in the skincare product is approximately 2.21%, which is close to the assumed concentration of 2%. This result falls within a reasonable range of experimental errors and confirms that the product contains about 2% salicylic acid by mass. That's all from me. We move to the next agenda.
Hi, my name is Nur Farhana, and I will continue with the last part, which is for the conclusion. So to conclude, the objective of this video has been discussed, which is we can explain the method for accurately determine the concentration of salicylic acid in a sample, and we can demonstrate the practical application of the salicylic acid quantification in various industries. With the proper method and procedure which has been done by an expert, titration is one of the methods to determine the right concentration of salicylic acid, because as we know, that is a common laboratory method of quantitative chemical analysis, and with the right amount of concentration, it can be well effective towards our skin, and the benefit of the salicylic acid will be remain in the skincare. From the data analysis, the percentage of salicylic acid in the skincare product is 2.21%, as the level is in the recommended range for therapeutic and cosmetic users. As a user of skincare, right amount of concentration is important to our skin tolerance, so as we can avoid a skin breakout or change in skin hydration. For future development, other researchers may explore more about salicylic acid with different formula to other products that will give such a benefit. So that's all from our team, and don't forget to like and comment because it will be really helpful for us. Once again, thank you for watching.